Hey, it's Bill. Welcome to the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 827. Um, Normally, this is where I tell you about the music that I just played, but this happens to be a pre recorded episode, so I'm going to let you guys know that ahead of time. On the radio side, you will hear what's being played, but here on the video side, it's not ready. With me tonight are the members of Shiva Skydriver. And I keep trying to say skydive, and I even typed it that way at one point. So let's
That's
start with
amazing.
let's start with that name. Where did it come from?
Ed and I started playing together when I was 16. I met Ed because I used to take guitar lessons from him, and we started playing together when I was in high school. And I was in a class, it was world cultures or something, and I was learning about Shiva and Buddha and Ganesh, and I had never heard of Shiva before, and I thought I really liked the sound of that. Like, just as a name, I thought it was a cool name, but then I learned that Shiva is the destroyer of concepts and the god of change, and I liked that idea. And also then later in life, completely unrelated to the name, that's a theme that pops up a lot in the lyrics that I write. And we had a drummer playing with us at the time who came up with Skydriver. We don't know where he came up with that.
I think he was selling cars at the time. Like, that's what I put together. He was selling cars. He said Skydriver, and I was like, no, that's no good. And then put it together with Shiva. We thought, oh, that's a great,
Yeah, it worked then.
a flow to it, I guess.
Hey, so you mentioned Ed's name. Why don't you two introduce yourselves real quick and tell us what you do in the band? And it's just the two of you, right? You're a duo.
It is, yes.
As far as playing live,
Yes,
go ahead.
I will elaborate on that. I'm Kelsey James. I sing and play bass. When we record, we both record all of the instruments. There's full instrumentation on our songs, but that's all played by the two of us. And just depending on the configuration, if we're playing live as a duo, I will be singing and playing guitar. But when we do get the opportunity to play with the full band, drums and keyboards, then in that setting, I'm singing and playing bass. And I'll turn it to
Ed Skero, and I play guitar, sing live. Don't sing much on the recordings.
Right.
You do a pretty good job of that.
I cover it. Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, as Kelsey said, we both play keyboards on the recordings. The drumming on the recordings is a combination of both of us in our programming and physically hitting things, but also editing them together
to sound the way we want.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So now, last episode, I forgot to do this, and I'm going to do it right now. I have a official and unofficial build a scene question, and you've probably caught them if you mentioned you saw some shorts.
Yes.
Yeah. So the unofficial question is, what's the best pizza you've had because you're a musician?
I have an answer for this. I don't know if you do, but
I'll let you go first.
We live in Mount Pleasant, and there's wonderful pizza in Mount Pleasant, but it's pizza I've been eating my whole life. So it's not because of music, but pizza because of music is our friend Nick James has Nick Jimmy's Pizza Pies, and it's like a food truck setup. So I had his pizza at Helltown in Mount Pleasant, and it was excellent pizza no matter what, but it also did help that he named a pizza after us. He had a Shiva Supreme on his menu that night, so that did score him some points. Even without being named after us, though, it was fantastic. So I say Nick James Pizza. That's the best.
Since you took Nick James Pizza, I'll say, how do you pronounce it? Ioannis?
Oh, yeah, Ioannis, yeah.
Ioannis, because when we started playing music together, you and your mother introduced me to Ioannis, and I feel like all of my friends then started going there, but I don't know if I would have, they're far away, so I don't know if I would have ever heard of them if it wasn't for you introducing.
Which one were you guys at?
We used to go to Derry.
Okay.
But then they opened in, is it Delmont? And that was a bit closer for us, but it was in Derry that Ed is talking about.
And they have one in Vandergrift, which is like 3 miles from where I am right now.
That's great. Yeah.
I think that's the newest one in Vandergrift. Okay. All right. So the official Build a Scene question is, who's your Dave Grohl? And by that, I mean, who do you want to go up on stage with and perform one of their songs? Because Dave is known for pulling people out of the crowd and harassing them a little bit, but letting them play with the band.
I've heard you ask this question. I'm not 100% sure on that. I will say that many years ago, there's a metal band called Steel Panther. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
I am.
I did get to sing with them. So that did kind of happen for me. I don't know if that answers.
I normally I would ask you what song, but I know the titles of their songs, and I'm not asking.
Yeah, that's right. We've already.
We'll brush over that.
Yeah.
Do you remember the song?
Actually, I can't. I mean, the title is called "Party All Day," so I think that's okay.
That one's okay.
Yeah.
Not all of them are.
Mine would be Morrissey.
Oh, that's a great answer.
Because he gets a lot of flack for canceling shows. He pulled you. You know how rare an occurrence that would be?
It's rare for him to perform himself, but then to pull you on stage on top of it, even more rare. That's a good pick.
I like it. I don't think. I think Steel Panther has been an answer, but I don't think Morrissey has been answered on that question. So let's see. Okay. So you're leaving a show, and this question kind of leads into, I have another show called Flashback, which this show, if you don't know, this is episode 827. The first one happened in 2004. So we can flash back and look at music from 2 decades ago. But if you were leaving your show and there's a DeLorean sitting outside, and you get in the DeLorean and there's a flux capacitor, so you can go back in time. Marty went back in time and played with Chuck Berry's cousin Marvin. That's how he said it. What band would you want to go back in time and play with?
I'm going to say, because I watch all the time, INXS's live concert video. It's called Live Baby Live. I watch it all the time, and I have not yet gotten tired of it. So I feel like I absorb that live performance, and so I'm gonna say that one because I am constantly absorbing it, and it's just always like somewhere in my subconscious. I absolutely love it. That does something good for me watching that show, so I will choose INXS.
That's a good one. So you took that
I
one.
took your answer for that too.
I would go back and play the tambourine for the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Because I think being on that, just the volume that people used to play at, right? That nobody does that anymore. Just being in the middle of that storm of sound, and you're not going to play the guitar, right? And no one's going to invite me to play the drums. We've already established that we program the drums.
Yeah.
So I would say the tambourine. I could handle the tambourine in that.
Because that would be low enough pressure where you could still enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And no one with all the volume, it's hard to mic a tambourine in the middle of all of that volume. So no one would know if I messed up or not.
All right. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our first break. See how fast that went?
Yeah.
And we're going to play 2 songs off your forthcoming album. We're going to play Presence and If You're Willing to Go, So Am I. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the album and those songs. And you made me think of a question that I used to ask, so I'm going to ask that one right off the bat. Okay. So we're going to head into our first break, and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Hey, it's Bill again. We are headed into segment number 2 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode number 827. Before I do that, you'll notice I have this mono equipment sitting here on the screen, and I'm going to move my mic, and you'll probably lose my voice for a moment, but it's also mono. And the reason I'm doing that is they sponsor this show through its thing that they do called Pod Anywhere. And this past weekend, I ran to Millville and did some interviews on the streets of Millville during Millville Music Festival. And you're going to get to hear that in the next episode, which I also use some wireless lav mics that Mono has. That's these right here. But with that said, we're going to head back to have a conversation with Shiva Skydriver. And we're going to start off with that question that you clicked in my brain. Years ago, I was at an in-service, and it was a social studies in-service. And one of the other teachers asked me if you could go back in time to any date in history that had a relevant event that happened. Where would you go and why? And what made me think about it was my answer was I would go to Woodstock. And you mentioned Jimi Hendrix. But so you can pick any date. It doesn't even have to be musically related, but plus for you if it is.
What do you think?
Oh, it's easy for me.
I want you to answer first. I have to think about this.
I would go to the US Festival, Memorial Day weekend, 1983. Think of the bands. Oingo Boingo, In Excess, Berlin, Missing Persons, David Bowie, The Clash, Van Halen. So many more that I'm not thinking of right now. So, and I would try to negotiate something where I could stay the whole weekend instead of just one day. But if it was just one day, then it would be the day that The Clash played.
All right, that's good. As you were saying that, I was like, I might tag along with you on that. Yeah. But no, I have. My mom saw Freddie Mercury perform live. Was it 1980?
1980, yeah.
So I am going to. I don't remember the date. I'm gonna have to fact check on that one. But I am going to tag along with my mom to that concert where she saw Queen live with Freddie Mercury.
That's a good answer.
I like both of those. And I don't remember 1980. I was alive then, but I was 3. My daughters love singing Queen, so that they would like that choice too.
Do they do anything in particular? They just love Queen in general.
They sing anything and everything, but anytime Queen is on, they're singing along. A lot of local bands they like too, because they're usually one of them is sitting in the room while I'm doing this, but she's not here today.
Nice. That's very cool.
And I have a very musical family, but I talk about it on the show all the time, so we're not going to do that now, but I can tell you when we're off the air. All right, so we listened to your 2 songs, and I am going to bring your website up while we do this. So we listened to Presence, and if you're willing to go, so am I. If I can get you guys kind of scooch a little together, because I didn't have this screen ready.
That's okay.
Perfect. Because you're in a much smaller window now.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, now I see. We're up there.
Yes,
okay.
We moved.
All right.
So those of you that are watching the video, it's shivaskydriver.com. And if you're not watching it, you can't see it, but you can go view it. So I have the music section pulled up, and you have that new album coming out. Why don't you tell us a little bit first about the release show so that people can come check that out, and then we'll talk a little bit about the music.
So on May 30th, we will be having our album release show. And I mentioned earlier the full band. So a lot of times we play as a duo, but it's going to be the full band with drums and keyboards. And we'll be playing all of the tracks from the new album and hitting on, this is our 5th album. So we'll be hitting on songs from each of the 5 albums. And you can come get a CD and, of course, listen to it on streaming services and download it.
And how many songs are on the new album?
8.
8. And,
yes, we released them as singles starting back in December. So we have been on a schedule of releasing a new song every other week. And also in the mix there are some songs that aren't on this new album, some remixes of things. But yeah, so a lot of the songs have been floating around as singles as well.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. You can pick one of the two songs we played. It's up to you, totally up to you which one. And I'm going to give you a VH1 moment, which you're going to have that storytellers where you can tell me a story about the song, whether it's a story about, I see Ed shaking his head because I think he's seen it, and Kelsey sitting there going, what is this? So what the idea is, you're going to tell me maybe a story about while you're recording it, or how the song came to you when you were writing it, or the meaning behind the song, something. Just tell us about the song.
Okay. So in starting to write music for this new album, in January and February of last year of 25, I knew we wanted to do this, release a song every other week. And so I did create a schedule of, I need to sit down and be creative every day, write something every day. So that could be, by the end of it, I might have a verse and a chorus and chord changes. So like a good structure of a song. Or on other days where I'm like, I'm not feeling it, I don't know what to write about, but I still made myself sit down and come up with something. Maybe I'll listen tomorrow and I won't like it, or maybe I will. And that was a day where I didn't have anything in particular where like, I'm feeling this, I feel good about this or bad about this, and I'm going to sit and write about it. So I was sitting on my couch with my notebook in front of me and the acoustic guitar, and thinking big picture and thinking about life in general and what to be writing about. And so I did start just kind of writing about moving through life. And so that is sort of what the song, not sort of, that is what the song is about. It's about moving through life, but also togetherness is a theme that comes up in our music a lot. And so it's moving through life with the people that you want to take along with you. And it's about sort of how life is also imperfect. The journey may not always be smooth, but we can go on this journey together.
Now, how does the writing process work? Do you do all the writing and then bring it to Ed, or Ed brings stuff to you? Like,
we have different methods, and that's something that we enjoy, is that we don't have some specific formula. With a lot of these songs, like I said, I sat down every day with the acoustic guitar, but we have lots of things where you'll start, or you'll have a guitar part, or we'll start with a beat, and then I will fill in the blanks lyrically and melodically after that. So
there are 8 songs on this album. 6 of them you sort of wrote as little 2.5-minute singer-songwriter versions, and then whenever we sit down with them, they go a lot of different directions. Mm-hmm. And we kind of like establish what the rhythm of it's going to be, what the overall feel is going to be. So that those first 6 started it like that. And then the last 2, one of them was a little keyboard run with a drum loop behind it that I've had forever, that I keep pulling out and saying, we should do something with this. And Kelsey's like, no, I don't. But the only thing that ended up in the final version is I got my little keyboard run, and
it appears one
time in the song, but nothing about that original demo or whatever you want to call it remained. So a whole new song was just built out of that, just a little bit of a musical idea. So I wouldn't say that we've used every method possible for writing, because there are a lot of,
I'm sure there's stuff,
a lot of avenues yet to explore, but yeah, it doesn't. Sometimes, like I said, Kelsey has basically the bones of a song. That could just be a song on its own. It wouldn't even need to be expanded on. Mm. And other times it starts with the beat, or it starts with a little musical part, or yeah, a lot of different ways.
It keeps it interesting and creative for us to always have a different approach. Not always, but have different approaches to choose from.
Okay. So we're going to take our second break, and we'll come back, and I'm going to throw some of my off the wall questions at you.
All right, perfect.
And we'll be right back here on episode 827 of the Pennsylvania Rock Show. Hey, we're back on the Pennsylvania Rock Show, episode 827. With me are Kelsey and Ed from Shiva Skydriver. Almost did it. Skydriver. There's an R. So I told you I was going to hit you with some of my more oddball questions. I have a couple that I use for my street interviews. I want to throw a couple of those at you too. Those are kind of real quick. The first one is, what is the best thing about the Pittsburgh and surrounding music scene?
Seems like we get a lot of shows that come to Pittsburgh, right? There was a time where I feel like a lot of bands skipped Pittsburgh, but anymore, if it seems like if somebody is going on tour who I really want to see, if they're not coming to Pittsburgh now, they'll be here in 2 years or something. You know, it doesn't seem like we ever miss anybody.
Yeah, you go to a lot more concerts than I do, and so like
Yeah.
you're getting to see them in smaller, intimate club
Yeah.
venues too, which is I think preferred for
Yeah.
both of us. But yeah, you're getting to see a lot of great shows
Yeah.
in those small venues.
So obviously we get all these bands because there are a lot of music lovers in Pittsburgh to support all those shows. And I feel like it's always been that way. I mean, growing up, just surrounded by music here and the radio, everything was always so supportive of. There were bands that WDVE played that I thought, well, they're a stadium band everywhere, and maybe they weren't, but they got a lot of support in Pittsburgh. So it's always been a really a town that's appreciated music.
How about you, Kelsey? And it could be the big picture like he was just talking about, or it could be something local wise too.
Local, I mean, everybody that we encounter when we're playing, whether it's always in the audience, but someone who's just coming out to listen to music, or our fellow musicians, friends that we have, everyone is just pleasant to be around, and it's a good environment, and it's a good energy that's shared between everybody. So we always have a pleasant experience, like I said, with both listeners and our other musician friends.
Yeah, and just to expand on that just a little bit, yeah, it feels like there's so many things that people can go out and do. The attention is all over the place, whether it's, you know, a lot of things competing for, you know, the same area. So the sports and everything else. So when the audience tends to be hardcore music lovers.
Yeah.
And there's a lot and then people want to talk, you know, afterward about the things that they love and tell you if somebody's always messaging us and check out this band or check out this YouTube video of something from, you know, 50 years ago or whatever. So yeah, again, just music lovers.
Yes.
I get a lot of that. And what I get a lot that I love is a band. I've mentioned my flashback show. I'll have bands contact me and go, hey, do you still have a copy of our album? Blah, 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 because they don't have it anymore. And then I get to give them their music back.
That's awesome.
That's a fun one for me. And I harass them about it, but
as you should.
Was there ever a time where you thought about giving music up, and what caused that for you?
To be quick.
No? Kelsey's like, nope, not at all.
No, there hasn't been. I mean, things get difficult sometimes, or things can be frustrating sometimes, but no. And it's our job for both of us. So we will joke and say we can't quit even if we wanted to. But like, no, I've never felt that way.
I've been obsessed with this since before I, even was forming thoughts around anything else. And
Well, here, let me throw this question at you and feed off of that one.
Yeah.
Can you pinpoint that moment where you knew that you wanted to be a musician?
I remember seeing music. The earliest music I remember seeing on TV was Sly and the Family Stone and Stevie Wonder. And there was just such an energy to it. And, like little kids, we see it all the time when people have little kids at the gigs. They dance and they immediately start reacting to music. And so, yeah, from that point, I don't think I could pinpoint a time. It just was an obsession since I've been aware, able to be aware of it.
I think for me, I don't know that I have a particular time, but like my mom, I mentioned earlier, she saw Queen in 1980. She is a music fan. And so I grew up with music being a big part of our life and like what we're going to listen to in the car. So even when I was a kid and I would ask other kids, well, who's your favorite band? They'd be like, I don't know. I'm like, that's weird. How do you not have a favorite? And so I loved all the stuff that my mom was playing when I was growing up. But then when I was around 7 years old, I think 7 or 8, I found in her collection a Kiss compilation CD. And that's when I was like, oh, this is my favorite thing. And I want to be a part of this. So that's probably what really lit the fire under me to want to pick up a bass guitar.
So last week's guest, also a female lead singer, told me Kiss as well.
Oh, nice. Okay. That's great.
And also that's where my love of rock came from. My uncles are 5 and 9 years older than me, so kind of more like brothers. And that's what they were listening to. And I was like, I want to be like my older uncles. So
That's awesome.
So that Kiss for me too.
Who was your favorite member growing up?
So that's a tough one. It went between Gene and Peter. And Gene because the demon persona, but I have always had a soft spot for like gravelly vocals, and Peter is that's where that started. It's Peter.
That's great. And yeah, he does have a great voice when his voice is interjected in with everything else. It's good.
All right, let's see. I was not going to ask that question about pinpointing it. It fell right in there. That was great.
That was good.
So I'm going to ask you one of my Kiss questions.
Okay.
So my friend Jazz, who runs Jazz's Rock and Road Show, which is an award-winning show on Music from 412, they won a Telly, which is a huge deal. And I can't remember the other one. They just got announced this week. I'm going to have to write it down. But he has a series where he went to Antarctica. And in that episode, he plays one of his band's Half Wheels songs while standing on the South Pole. And Metallica has played in Antarctica, and Kiss has played in a bay in Australia to sharks.
Okay.
So what is your non-traditional venue that you would like to play at? If you could just set up somewhere and start jamming, where would it be?
Anywhere that we can play. This is going to have to be a team effort.
Okay,
we
all
can't
right.
answer individually because we both have to be there. So.
Oh, right. We were just talking about this yesterday about all of the national parks that you and I have visited separately.
Yeah.
But I would say I'm going to go back to that Carlsbad Caverns.
Yeah, I haven't been. You've been there. I haven't been. So I think that us performing there will get me there.
I imagine like being at the South Pole. I mean, I haven't been to the South Pole, but the caverns it just seems like another world. and it would make you feel like you were playing on a different planet, I think.
I like that answer.
And you could, with the South Pole, I don't know how they handle you and I are very sensitive. Whenever we're playing an outdoor gig,
there's
and
a lot of complaining going on.
the
It's even a little bit cold. Yeah.
How would we play at the South Pole?
Yeah.
Caverns, it's a little bit climate control there. Yeah.
I will tell you that he did not play the whole song because he's playing acoustic and his fingers got cold.
Yeah, that sounds near impossible.
If you could sit down with a musical idol, and I know it's hard to pick one, and have a conversation, who would you want to sit down with, and what question would you use to start that conversation?
I have an answer. Okay, I really love Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I would ask Flea what book he's reading right now, because I know he's a big reader. He even had a book club on Instagram for a while that I read one of the books and I bought the other one, didn't get to read it yet. But I wouldn't open with a music question. I would open with a book question.
Wow, this is so hard. So I don't have anything profound. I would ask Danny Elfman why he doesn't like he always trashes the song Weird Science.
I would like to know the answer.
And then it would be a short conversation.
Because he would get mad at you
and leave immediately. So I probably don't want to go with, but that's all I can think of at the moment.
Okay. I met Gene Simmons, and he asked the first question, which was, I had a digital camera with me that took photos and directly wrote them to mini CDs, and he asked me how my camera worked. And
okay, that's nice.
I was at a book signing, and they kept trying to shoo me away, and he kept going, I'm still talking to him.
Oh, that's nice then.
Which was really cool.
A lot of people will have stories about Gene Simmons that, are not as favorable for him. So I'm glad you had a podcast.
And I had a good one.
Good.
One of the few, but all right, so we have we're actually out of time looking at my timer. I do want to thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you so much.
And you listeners and viewers, even though this is pre-recorded, you still have time to make sure you go to that show. Give us the specs on that show again.
It is Saturday, May 30th at Helltown Tap Room in Mount Pleasant. The show, we have an opener, DJ Zim, opening at 6, and we'll go on at about 7, playing all the songs from our new album and songs from all of our other albums. And also on May 30th, the album will be available for streaming and download. And
the 2 songs I played tonight are going to be in rotation on Music from the 412 as well. You can't request, but you can hang out and listen and hope you get to hear them. Or you can send me a message and say, hey, Bill, you haven't played that a while in the Pennsylvania Rock Show. Why don't you throw it in? And we'll see if we can make that happen for you. I want to thank Kelsey and Ed for hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you for having us. This was very enjoyable.
You're welcome. Thank you. And everyone, make sure you head to shivaskydriver.com, get a copy of the new album, and then also head to buildascene.com and check out all the stuff I put out, as well as musicsfromthe412.com, where you can see video and listen to music. And we have a Roku channel that has a TV guide, and there's all kinds of different shows. There's a channel that is just local unsigned bands playing music videos that they've produced. We have shows like mine that have their own channel. You can watch it 24/7. And there's a lot more to come. Pittsburgh History channel on there. So go to both Fire TV and Roku and search Music from 412 for that. And you will find this episode on there shortly. With that said, we're going to head off into the evening and play a couple more tracks for you. Make sure you join me each and every Monday night, 7 p.m. for the interview, 10 p.m. for the radio show, and we'll see you next time. Hey, it's Bill with an update on Music from the 412's ticket contest, courtesy of Dressy Entertainment. We have the following shows that you can enter to win 2 tickets to. June 4th, Saving Abel with XDB and Patron at the Craft House. June 4th, Cold with Sierra Swan, Victoria Fire at Jurgles. June 24th, Wade Jennings with the Shiners, Honky Tonk Heroes at Jurgles. June 28th, Catch 22 with F. Yeah Dinosaurs Book Club at the Craft House. July 25th, Quiet Riot at Jurgles. July 17th, Blackberry Smoke at Timber Rock Amphitheater. July 23rd, Metal Church with Heathen, All Sinners, and Executionists at the Craft House. July 30th, Tiffany with Stereo Scandal at Jurgles. August 25th, Ugly Kid Joe with Wheatus and Platinum Moon at Jurgles. September 9th, CKY with 9 Sundays, Bloomfield Pest Control at Jurgles. September 23rd, Black Flag with Shiver at Craft House. October 4th, Striper at Jurgles. And October 21st, Mushroom Head and Fear Factory at Preserving. Those are their current lineup, but check the website often because it changes. And you'll want to do that by going to musicfromthe412.com/contest. And make sure you check out musicfromthe412.com for all your unsigned and local music needs. Hey, we're at that time of the show where I'm going to spin the wheel, and Drusky Entertainment is going to give away 2 tickets to one of their shows. This show happens to be Wade Jennings with the Shiners and the Honky Tonk Heroes on Wednesday, June 24th, 5 p.m. doors, 7:30 p.m. showtime. Because it's at Jurgles, it is 21 and over. You can purchase tickets for that by going to Jurgles' website or Drusky Entertainment. Those tickets are $25.65 a piece. There were 3 people that signed up: Justin Todd, Andrew Carr, and Keith Laydig. I have them all a bunch of times on the wheel, and I'm not going to shuffle it this time. I kind of changed the order up on my own. I'm going to hit spin, and we're going to find out who is winning those tickets to see Way, the Shiners, and the Honky Tonk Heroes. And that winner is Andrew Carr. Andrew, keep an eye on your email. I'll be sending you an email with information on the show, and then Drusky Entertainment will follow up with your tickets and how to get them. With that said, we did just add a whole bunch of new opportunities to win tickets from Drusky Entertainment. Go to musicfromthe412.com/contest to see what other shows are available. And make sure you join us each and every Monday night on the Pennsylvania